Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Eastman and Laird version of the Shredder clones. And these guys I got on Target's website. They are already sold out last I checked. I think I just got really lucky and happened to check while they were still available, because all these things on Target's website keep selling out super fast, and it's super annoying. I didn't get any of the second batch, so I'm going to try to get some review samples to review those for you guys. But yeah, these are part of the haul-a-thon, apparently, and I'm just tired of all these difficult ways to get action figures that are, like, desirable. Why? I mean, I understand the need for exclusives, but making them these weird timed online in-store, but they're not in-store, they're online, but they're not online, it's just annoying. Anyway, though, I didn't try hard and I got these, so hopefully some of you guys did too, and I guess a lot of you are finding them in-store still, so good luck. I would check online, but also check in stores. That seems to be the better option at this point. Anyway, I was very, very excited about this set when they first showed it, just because it has such cool shelf appeal. I think it's nice to get some variation on the shelf, especially in the Ninja Turtle line where it's a lot of the same characters, even though there are, like for the cartoon versions, lots of other characters. Mainly it's just Turtles and Shredder in most brands, so it's nice that NECA is doing some more obscure stuff. These guys are pretty darn cool looking, so let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands to the top of his head just shy, including the spike, just shy of 18 centimeters. That's going to make him roughly, I will say 7 inches. Here he is up against Darwin. He's not huge, but he's got some size to him. He is a deluxe figure. I can't remember what I paid. I'll put it in the video. That's what it's called, right up there. I want to say it was $50, and I don't feel like his articulation's pretty limited, but he's also pretty big, and he's got a unique sculpt completely and a pretty cool paint job. So I don't know. I'm feeling pretty okay about it, but a little bit better articulation would have been nice. We'll get to that. So anyway, he's about that tall. I'm going to count this guy as an accessory, but there he is. He's very short. And so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic. But first, a question of the day. Are you guys in on the comic figures, or are you in on the cartoon figures, or both? And if both, which is your favorite? For me, I grew up on the cartoon, so I really like seeing those things. But the comic figures have really cool designs that you don't see everywhere, like this, for instance. So I'm very pleased to review something like this. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetic. It is mostly molded plastic. There is some paint here and there. Some of the parts that look molded are painted, but it's mostly molded with the black line work, and I think that's pretty good. I do like that there is just a very subtle blue shading on the silver parts. It's very, very subtle on the mouth area. You can see it on the lower parts of the shoulder pads there, and it is up here on the top of the helmet on either side of the fin spike, if you want to call it that. And is it anywhere else? I don't think it's on the arm pieces at all. It's on the back here, and it's around here too. It's very, very subtle, but in person it looks great. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera, but it looks... Oops, I hit the button. There we go. I hit the button as I was trying to adjust things. It looks great. I love the blue shading. This little guy has it too. Looks very, very nice. So I love that. I like the black line work. I like the cleanness of the whole thing. It's all very opaque and smooth and matte finish, so that's great. The only thing I don't like, and I hate this, in fact, the eyes. The eyes are supposed to be like glowing red. And not only are they not glowing red and that they're pink, but they're not even opaque pink, and they're not well placed. So that's very, very disappointing, and I guess that'll vary from figure to figure. You might get one that looks a little bit better than this, but I did not get one that looks very good. That little scratch right there, that's hardly noticeable in real life. Like, it's there, but it's tiny, and you're zoomed in really close right now. But the eyes do suck, so that's a bit of a bummer. Will it be super noticeable on the shelf? I mean, yes, but also, if you're looking at it from the side like this, you don't notice it as much. But it definitely could be a lot better. But I do like the aesthetic a bunch. The spikes are hard plastic, by the way, which is weird because that makes them very breakable and very pokey. I did have, this one is curving funny. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It doesn't seem like it's bent at all, but I did have one of the accessory hand spikes bent in the package. Luckily, I was able to bend it back without it breaking. It just left a little bit of a white spot on there. So if you are looking at them in store, look for one that, if you can, for one that doesn't have the spikies. But yeah, it's cool. It looks really nice. I love the aesthetic. Other than the eyes, it looks great. The little one has the same paint job and everything, so I don't need to go into that one. So I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for the aesthetic. The The bad paint job on the eyes definitely throws it off. Now, as far as accessories go, we don't have a ton. I'll go ahead and just show you the little guy first. He is articulated more than you would guess, but also not as much as he could have been, because he's not that tiny. Here he is up against Darwin. He's small, but like his arms aren't that thin, so I think it could have been a little better. But his head's on a ball peg, at least a single, so you do get your rotation. Ooh, watch the spikies in this thing back here. Be careful. So yeah, he does move around a little bit. His shoulders are on ball sockets. They're very, very stiff though. So you can definitely rotate them up and down and then lean them out to the side. They don't have a ton of range, but it's going to be enough to put them in some poses. There's nothing else in the wrists or elbows or anything, so that's pretty limited. But because they're bent and you have a ball socket up there, you do get enough play, I think. And then the hips are on ball sockets, but they don't only have one cutout in there. You see that cutout? They have another cutout, which allows you to really get them in some more poses than you would otherwise be able to get, and there is a thigh swivel in there, so that's pretty good. You can move his legs around enough, but the knees are fixed, so they're not going to unbend, so it's not going to give you a ton of posability, but those hips are nice. And then the ankles do have your standard hinge and swivel in there, so he's a pretty cool accessory. I like this guy. He's good enough. I wasn't expecting a full-on set of articulation, and he's definitely posable enough to look cool. So I like that. I like to just put him in a little pose like that. It looks like he's ready to go get some. Not in a good way. Okay, and then for the other accessories, we have some alternate hands for the big guy. He comes with 2 style pose hands and 2 fist hands on him in the package. Then you get 2 karate chop hands and 2 gripping hands. Nothing to grip, but you do get them. And then you do get the stuff coming out of him, whatever that is, I don't know. So you can pop off his arm, and then you'll have it coming off of his arm, and then coming off of the part that's on the ground. So that's a cool accessory. It looks pretty nice. I imagine that is from a specific scene in the comics, which I'm not familiar with. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. So it's not the most accessories, but I think it's definitely enough. And I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for accessories, considering the little guy is kind of an accessory, kind of an extra character. Either way, look, it's either a really good accessory or a second figure that's good for the size, so you can figure it in however you want. But I think that's fine for the price point. All right, now for the articulation. We have a double ball peg. I think it's a double ball peg from the neck to the head, and then one also at the bottom of the neck. I'm not sure because I can't see in there, but he can look down and lean side to side a little bit. Of course, the samurai helmet is limiting, but you're going to get enough posability out of it that you're going to be just fine, I think. I like it. Shoulder pads are surprisingly fixed, though. They are hard plastic and glued on very sturdily, so they don't move much. So the shoulders have very little rotation, of course. They're not too stuck at all. That's cool, but they have very limited range, again, of course. Same thing on this side. The arms are the exact same thing, top and bottom. No problems with the joints. Some of the elbows are a little bit stiff, but they tend to free up, so that's fine. But you do get your bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. You do get to rotate the gauntlet. I love that. Anytime you can't rotate the gauntlet, I'm upset. So I really like that you can do that. And since it has to pop off, that makes sense. And then you do get the wrists with a swivel and a hinge. And so articulation is fine for the arms given the design. Like, he's very chunky, so it's pretty limited, and the shoulder pads get in the way. But what's there does work pretty well. Nothing in the torso. Probably just too much going on here, and there's no room for it. But I would have liked to... I mean, you could have made room, but that would have made the price go up a lot, I think. So I would prefer to have a cut here and a ball peg in there, but it's okay. You do get a swivel at the waist, which is fine. And then in here, you get your ball socket hips, which are going to go pretty far out to the side. No real problem there. Going forward, hey, they're not loose at all. I like that. Forward and back, it's not the greatest, but it's going to be good enough, I would say. And then you do get a thigh swivel, double jointed knee. This joint was really tight, but I got it to pop pretty easily. Not great. Maybe, yeah, you're not going to get more range out of that. A little bit better than 90. Could be better, but it's not bad. I'll take it. And then there's no swivel at the shin. It's all one solid sculpt. And then you get your standard ankle joint, which goes back far enough and far enough forward, and you get an ankle rocker. So is it the best articulation I've ever seen? Absolutely not. Is it good enough? I think it is. I think it's pretty good. I think it's fine, especially given the design. So I'm going to give the articulation 7. I could go 8. You could pick one. You could pick either 7 or 8. 7 because there are limitations. 8 because it's just the character design, and what is here works pretty well. so I don't know how to pick it, but you guys can decide for yourself. Alright, and now it's time for the final verdict. I do think this is an incredibly good looking set. I can't wait to have a Ninja Turtle display and put these in it. I don't have anything on display right now, so that's why I say that. But these guys look wonderful. They come with really cool accessories, and they're going to pose well enough to make your display look good. So I'm going to give this set a final rating, assuming that I paid around 50 bucks. I think that's what it was. Again, I'll put that on the video. Assuming that's what I paid, I'm going to put this at a 9 out of 10. It's a really fun set. I love the aesthetic. I think NECA nailed it other than the eye paint job, which is a bummer, but also shouldn't be too hard for people to fix if they had to, which is unfortunate, but at least it's doable. So yeah, I like this set a whole bunch. I think you guys will too. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos every single day but Wednesday, and thousands of videos already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.